You wake up and within 60 seconds you hand your mind to someone else. Not to an enemy you can face, to an algorithm that was engineered by the smartest behavioral scientists alive to keep you passive, reactive, and scrolling. And the worst part is you do it voluntarily every single morning before you've had a single original thought. That is not a bad habit. That is the act of a pawn. And if you don't close that gap, the space between waking and owning your own mind, every goal, every plan, every idea you have about becoming formidable gets built on a foundation of borrowed attention. The Stoics had a word for this. They called it prohairesis, your faculty of choice, the one thing that is absolutely and unconditionally yours. And they said the first duty of a rational man is to protect it. What you do in the first hour of your day determines who runs you for the rest of it. Let's talk about how to make sure that person is you. Marcus Aurelius began every morning the same way. Before the palace, before the generals, before the petitioners in the politics of empire, he sat with his own mind. He wrote, he examined, he reminded himself what was in his control and what was not. He did not open dispatches first. He did not consult what Rome thought of him overnight. He set the frame of his own mind before the world could set it for him. That was not a luxury of an emperor. It was his discipline, his armor. And here is the hard truth. You have access to the same practice. What you do not have is the same resolve to use it. Because the world in 2026 is not sending you dispatches. It is sending you a device that vibrates on your nightstand, that lights up with someone else's emergency, someone else's outrage, someone else's curated life. And your nervous system, which has not evolved since the Stoic era, treats every notification like a predator at the edge of the camp. Cortisol spikes, attention fragments. The day is already compromised and you haven't stood up yet. Here is the game as it actually is. Dopamine is not your friend in the morning. Dopamine in its natural rhythm is a motivator. It is the neurochemical of anticipation and pursuit. But the apps on your phone have hijacked it. Every scroll is a variable reward loop, the same mechanism used in slot machines. You don't scroll because you enjoy it. You scroll because the uncertain possibility of something interesting releases a small hit of dopamine, which immediately creates the craving for the next hit. The engineers who built these systems know this. They have optimized for it at scale. When you pick up your phone in the first 5 minutes of your day, you are training your brain that external stimulation is the source of your energy and direction. You are conditioning yourself to be reactive, to need input before you can act. That is precisely the neurological profile of a man who can be led. And the men who built these platforms have no interest in your sovereignty. They have an interest in your attention. Every minute you give them in the morning is a minute your mind runs on their terms, not yours. Now here is the move, not a vague suggestion, a protocol. 5 steps in sequence that you begin tomorrow. Step 1, the dead zone. Your phone does not exist for the first 60 minutes after you wake. Not on silent, not face down, out of reach, ideally in another room. This is non-negotiable. The rebuilder will immediately think, but I need it for my alarm. Buy a $5 clock. The cost of your sovereignty is $5. Remove every excuse. Step 2, the body before the mind. The Stoics govern the body as proof of governing the mind. 2 to 5 minutes of deliberate physical engagement. Cold water on your face, 20 push-ups, a brief walk. Not a full workout, not a performance. A signal to your nervous system that you are the one initiating action today, not reacting to it. Epictetus, who was enslaved, who had nothing, maintained his discipline of the body and mind as the one domain no man could take from him. You have more freedom than Epictetus, and you are surrendering it to a scroll. That should sting. Step 3, the premeditation. Marcus Aurelius called this the morning examination. You sit, 3 to 5 minutes, no more. And you ask yourself 2 questions. First, what is in my control today? Name it specifically. Your focus, your effort, your choices, your standard of conduct. Second, what is trying to claim my attention that is not in my control? Name those 2. The news cycle, other people's moods, market swings, outcomes you cannot guarantee. Write them down if it helps. The act of naming them is the act of putting them outside the perimeter. You are not ignoring the world. You are refusing to let it run on your processing power before you've done your own thinking. This is the Stoic operating principle at its most practical. Step 4. The single directive. Before you engage with anything external, you choose one thing. One, that if you accomplish it today means the day was not wasted. Not a list, not a system. One thing. Write it down on paper. The psychology here is Machiavellian in the best sense. A man with a clear objective is vastly harder to distract than a man with a vague sense of wanting to be productive. When you know what the day is for, every notification, every distraction, every request from someone else's agenda hits a filter. Does this serve the objective or not? You become a strategist of your own hours. That is what sovereignty looks like in practical form. Step 5. The controlled intake. Only now, after the body, after the premeditation, after the directive, do you open the world. But you open it on your terms. You have 10 to 15 minutes for news, messages, and the external landscape. You consume it like a general reviewing the battlefield. What do I need to know to execute today, and what is noise? Read once. Close. Do not scroll for stimulation. Do not reread what provoked a reaction, hoping it will provoke less the second time. Name the reaction. That is the Stoic move. And set it outside the perimeter with everything else that is not in your control. Then you are done with it. This is not a morning routine. It is a sovereignty protocol. The difference is in the intention. A routine is something you do. A protocol is a system you've built because you understand the threat and you've decided how to meet it. The rebuilder who executes this 5 mornings in a row will notice something that no productivity influencer can promise him from the outside. He will begin to feel like he belongs to himself again. That feeling is not motivation. It is the return of prohairesis, your faculty of choice, running on your terms rather than the platforms. And here is the deeper principle under all of it. Machiavelli wrote that the man who does not think in the morning will not think in the evening. He meant it about political leaders. Men who begin each day reactive, reading dispatches, answering to others' urgency, never set the frame of their own thinking. They become responsive instruments of everyone else's agenda. The same law applies to you. Not because you are running an empire, but because your life is your domain. Every morning that you wake up and reach for the phone is a morning you have declared your own mind a secondary concern. Every morning you follow the protocol is a morning you have governed yourself before the world could govern you. Stack enough of those mornings and you are no longer the man who needs to be told what to do with his attention. You are the man others orient around. That is the movement. That is the return. The pawn is the man whose first waking thought belongs to the algorithm. The sovereign is the man who enters each day from a position of deliberate command, body engaged, mind examined, objective set, the world reviewed rather than absorbed. You already know which one you intend to be. The protocol is the bridge between intending it and living it. Begin tomorrow, not next Monday, not after you set up the right system. Tomorrow, 60 minutes, dead zone, 5 steps. The world will still be there when you open it on your terms. It will look different when you do. Smaller, more readable, less powerful over you. That is what it feels like when a man stops being a pawn. Build that feeling into a habit and you will begin to understand what sovereignty actually costs and what it actually pays. Both are worth knowing. If this is the kind of thinking you want to keep building, Stoic commands strategic clarity, the real moves that turn a rebuilder into a sovereign. Subscribe to STOLVEX. The channel exists for one reason: to help men who are rebuilding themselves do it with the kind of philosophical depth and strategic precision that actually changes the game. There is a newsletter as well. The link is in the description for the work that goes deeper than a video can. We'll see you in the next one.